Now, Brandon B did say with Zack Moss that this was the one guy that he did try to trade up for in round 3. Moss is the 9th running back taken in the draft. What's your thoughts on him? Do you think he was taken more because he's a fit as much as maybe specifically the talent? Like J.K. Dobbins might be a more talented running back than Zack Moss, but he didn't fit what Brandon Beane was looking for and what he wanted as a complementary back to Devin Singletary.
I think this is important to look at this as a duality. I have no doubt that J.K. Dobbins is a better prospect than Zack Moss. I had J.K. Dobbins as my RB1, so you can imagine how I felt when we passed on him. But you have to look at these things as a package. It's not J.K. Dobbins versus Zack Moss. That's not how this is. It is A.J. Epinesa and Zack Moss versus J.K. Dobbins and Jonathan Greenard. Like, that's your value proposition there. And of those two, I will take A.J. Epinesa and Zack Moss. That's my preference as far as this goes. So Zack Moss was my RB6, and so I actually love the value. I think it's perfect. I actually really like the fact that I think that really when you talk about Zack Moss versus Devin Singletary, they're both versatile backs. They can both block. They can both catch out of the backfield. They can both run inside. They can both run outside. I think really what you're doing is you just have a Devin Singletary. You're just trading a little bit of elusiveness for a little bit more power. But overall, you're still getting a versatile back, which means that you have a little bit of beneficial redundancy to the running back position. Because redundancy, I've been preaching this the entire offseason, redundancy is not a bad thing in running backs, because what it does is it eliminates specialization, which eliminates predictability. So specialization cannot come without predictability. You cannot have one without the other. If you have a specialized piece on your offense and you only have them do the things they're good at, then you're not the only one who knows that. The defense knows that too. So I like having well-rounded running backs. I don't like having specialists at that position. And I think that the drop-off after Zack Moss to people like Anthony McFarland, to people like Patrick Warren, you get a little bit more specialization with some of these later round players. And I think that Zack Moss might have been the last bastion for the Bills to have a well-rounded player who can be RB1/RB2, a 1A to 1B with Devin Singletary, and still be able to retain the same playbook while giving you still a downfield dimension that I know that they covet, because they openly said with Brandon Beane that the reason TJ Yeldon didn't see the field was because they liked the downhill element that they got from Frank Gore. So I'm all about the pick. It's one of my favorites in the draft, and I'll leave it at that.